Hi everybody, this is Colleen, and I thought I would show you how I do the applique process for the Raven by Blackbird Designs. I use, there's different ways you can applique. You could do needle turn, you can do like Lori Holt where you sew around an object and turn it inside out, which is kind of like a needle turn, but with interfacing. Let's see, what else is there? And then there's raw edge applique, which I believe is what I use because I'm using heat and bond. I use heat and bond light, and on one side of the heat and bond, it's bumpy. I don't know if you could see the texture of it's bumpy. And the other side, which is what you trace on, is all smooth. Okay, and so I am on block number 6, which is right here. So what you need is your pattern. And my pattern is going to be, this is what he's going to look like when I'm done. This is block 6. You need your heat and bond, and you're going to trace your design on the smooth side. I use a light board, and so I could see through it clearly. You can use any kind of pen or pencil. What I wouldn't use is a erasable by heat, because I've done that before. I've traced all my patterns out, and then when I went to iron them onto the fabric, guess what? All my lines went away. So that was awful. So that's what you need, and of course your fabric and your pattern. So one of the things I wanted to tell you, so we're doing this one. Here is the first block we're going to trace. Now, if I trace it just exactly, if I trace this just exactly like with it facing at me, the pattern facing at me, I'm going to have a mirrored image. It's going to, instead of it facing to the left like it shows here, when I put it on my fabric, it's going to face to the right, which is fine. You know, you don't have to have your birds facing left or right, or however, you can have them any way you want. But I want it to be like the pattern is. So in order to achieve that, I know I have to do a mirror image. So what I'm going to do is I am going to take this and turn it over. And then I'm going to take my piece of fusible web, and I'm going to place it over my bird. Let me see if this will cover him. And it will. Let me put my little things. Hopefully you could see. Let me see if it will cover all of him. Not quite, so I'll have to go this way. Okay, so remember, here's with him facing me. I don't want him to face me, I want him to face down. So I turn him on top of my light box. I turn my light box up, whoops. Okay, and then I'm gonna put the rough side on top of my pattern, but I'm gonna trace. Where's my bird? Let's see, why can't I get that brighter? Where's my bird? Okay, there he is. And then I'm going to see his outline, and I'm going to trace him with my pencil. And so if you have any that have like little dashes, just go ahead and put the dashes in. And then I'm just tracing him. Just like, and you can't see me. Here we go. Just like it shows. You can use strokes if you can't, do it in a straight line, so don't worry about perfection. You just want to get his shape. I'm just tracing his little beak, his bottom beak, because he's got his mouth open for some reason. I'm avoiding all the other stuff I see. I'm focusing on what I'm tracing, which is the bird's body. And then there's a part here where his wing is going to go, so I just do little dashes, and I could refer to that later. So that's the bird. And then we also have to, and so he's going to be on black fabric, a black fabric. And now we also have his tail. So here's his tail. You can see the tail. Whoops. But remember, we got to put him upside down. And let me see, will his tail fit here? I try to save as much space. I want to leave at least, I have to trim around this bird about 1/4 of an inch. So I want to leave enough room for me to be able to trim it out. Yeah, it'll work. Okay, so I need to trace the tail. And he has, let's start here. Ooh. You make the sounds or not. Joop. Joop. And I think he has little dashes here, because that's where you can connect it to the bird, to the body of the bird. And I'm going to trace there. There. So, as you see, I have his tail and the bird. So that's the black aspects. Now I'll show you what I do. I don't have my bigger scissors here. So I'm just gonna, I'm cutting this. I'm gonna, let me get my bigger scissors. Holinky, we need our bigger scissors. Blink. Okay. So both of these are going to go, so this is, the bird is going to be on one black, and the tail is going to be on a different black fabric. So they're not going to be on the same black, so I'm going to trim. Yeah, I got to show you what else I got to do. You could do this all after, but I just want to show you. You don't want to cut right on the line yet. You can, and if you do, there's a workaround. And this will then go on the ugly side of your fabric, the wrong side of your fabric. But let me see, what was that number? This was, the bird was A. Bird body is A. His, and you know, you can always refer to your pattern to see what colors you're going to use for your main body. Let me throw this out. And the tail, I'm just going to write tail. It doesn't give it a number, but it's obvious it's the tail. Because what's going to happen is, you know, here's your bird, and then the tail is going to go there. Anyway, so that's going to be 2 black fabrics. We're going to put those to the side. Now, the next thing we want to trace is, let me tell you something. The tail and the body of the bird are the same fabric. I've already messed up. So the tail and the body of the bird are the same fabric. The wing will be a different fabric. So we've cut out the tail and the body of the bird. Now we're going to cut out B, which is the wing. So again, we're going to cut out the wing the star and some leaves, because that's what's on this one that we're going to trace. So here's your wing, here's your star, and I'll tell you what I do. Here's your berries, a leaf, and a leaf. Again, you take this, it's facing you, turn it upside down, turn it so it's not facing you, turn it so it's facing the light board. Or if you're not using a light board, turn it so it's facing the table, not at you, because you want this reversed. So now we're going to trace the wing. Even though you see all kinds of other shapes, you're going to focus on the wing. And you're not being super, you just want the shape. Don't worry about the lines, because you're going to trim all of this after you've ironed it to the back of your fabric. Okay, so that's B, that's the wing. And I can get more on this. Let's do the star. You can do the star in different ways. I just trace the whole star out. I don't do the separate pieces. I just do it and use a fabric I choose for the star to be. But otherwise, there's several different pieces you can trace to cut out and put the star together scrappy. But I'm not doing that, because I don't have to, and neither do you, or maybe you want to. So this is the star. What is my next thing? I want, what's on here? We have 2 leaves, 3 leaves, L and K. So I'll turn this back over, take my paper to go over the L, make sure I leave at least a 1/4 inch to an 1/8 inch so that I can cut around it. And I'm going to trace around my leaf. And what is he? That leaf is L. I'm going to label him L. I think I have 2 more leaves. 1 more leaf. Then I have K. So I'm going to trace K. I'm going to put him down so he's not facing me. And I'm going to put him right where, let's see, where's it at? Gonna move. Will he fit? Yes, it's right here. I gotta move it so I don't run over my, okay. So I'm gonna trace him. Well, it's not a him, it's just a leaf. Okay, so I have my leaf trace, and that one is called K. So I'm going to mark that a K. And then you can trim now, or you could just, keep cutting these out. So I want to do one more. Okay, here's my wing for my bird. I keep my leaves. I do all my leaves pretty much the same, so I want to keep them in another pile. And I do my star black, so I'll put my star with my bird, because that's the fabric I'll be cutting out is the black. leaves are going to be brown. And so I'll put my star over here. Okay. I think I have more leaves to cut out. I'm going to get rid of my paper. I'm being very wasteful. You don't have to be wasteful like me. All right, so that was page 42. Here's 41. We did that. Now we're on page 42. So page 42 is several leaves. So I'm looking at page 42. I'm looking at the leaves facing me. I'm going to take this and I'm going to go bloop, turn it face down. So I'm not going to be tracing anything here. I'm going to be tracing those there, but backwards, or mirror imaged. So to do that, we are going to, let's see, these are all leaves, so these are all going to be brown. Zoop. And I want to focus on my leaf. I'm just tracing him. If you don't have a light box, you can do it like on your window, like tape the pattern up to your window and put it on there. And what number is that? That is I. Okay, I have to keep looking because of, okay, so here we have an N. Gotta move that down. This leaf is lettered N. I'm just going to trace in. He's a big leaf. No, he's not a big leaf. There we go. I'm going to erase that one line because I went too far. That's a good thing about a pencil is you can erase it. Okay, so that's leaf N. And now we did I, N. Will J fit on here? And let's do J. It's going to go over here. M. Make sure I have room for J to fit. And I do. I want to leave at least a 1/4 inch to an 1/8 inch so I could cut it to put it on my fabric. Not to turn under. There's no turning under. I just need enough room around my pattern design to trim and put on my fabric. Okay, and that was, which one was he? J. And I have one more leaf on this page, which is M, and M is pretty big. So M's not going to fit on that leaf. And I don't think this is going to be big enough for it. Is it? Will M fit on there? Yeah. Okay. Here's M. Make sure I'm all lined up. Yep. So M. M is the bigger one. M is one big leaf. Wait a second. Yep. And then he goes down. Nope, that piece of paper isn't going to fit. I got to cut another one. So let me cut another piece. I was trying to get it all in there. I'm cutting some usable web. Okay, let's put you back here. There you are. And I'm going to move you off to the side because I could put some circles over there. So, hopefully you can see. I'm just tracing these, so even if it's not coming out good, we should fast forward a lot of this because it's kind of boring after the first one. Whoop. And okay, there's my next one. What did I do wrong here? Do him again. And this one. So we want M. Do you like brush strokes? There we go. That's M. There's my M leaf. And then I forgot to cut out my little circles, and it wants me to do, or trace out my little circles. It wants 5 of those. So I will put those on. I have room here. I will trace those little circles on here. Can you see? These ones don't have to be reversed, but you know. There's 5 little berries. Rowena reminded me that they're berries, not circles, not little dots. 3. Whoops. 4. 5. Those are purple, but I'm going to put them with the leaves. Okay, now we've done all those. We've done all those. So where are we at now? I think we have a pumpkin. Okay. Sorry, 40. 41 and 42. 43 is the pumpkins. How many leaves do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I am missing some leaves. 5. 6. Is there one I was supposed to get 2 of? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6. What am I talking about? 6. That was right. All right. 42. Those are all cut. We're at the pumpkin. That's our last cuts, is the pumpkin. So, erase this one leaf I have that's wrong. Ignore it. I could use that. So, where's my pumpkin? Here's my pumpkin. We're doing the Mystery Explorer block. Here's the pumpkin. Be sure you turn it. I've already cut E. It was on a separate page, but I cut the E out. This is going to be my cheddar cheese fabric. I need to cut D and C, or trace D and C. So I'm going to put this down. And I'm going to place this where I could see it. Put my C's there, and D. We're gonna do D first. He's actually the middle part of the. I need to move you over so there's room for you. Little more. Okay. Wonder why. Okay. Let's see something here. I don't think you're all the way in there. One. There, that's better. It wasn't all the way in there, I could barely see. Now I could see it. Shoop. And we're going to put you, leave enough room, there we go. So we're doing this pumpkin. This is part of the pumpkin. And that is D. And this one is C. Now we're going to do C, the other side of the pumpkin. Going to leave us enough room. And that is right here. Okay, so now we have all of those traced out, and we will next go to the iron. We'll pick our fabric, go to the iron, and I will show you what I do next. So we will be right back. Okay, now before let me see, hold on, let me go turn the TV off. Otherwise you will hear Queen Bee. So hold real quick. Okay, we just closed the door. So now I'm going to show you, I've pressed everything, and I will show you all that in a minute, but I wanted to show you the next thing we have to do is we need to make the, what are they, limbs for the tree, for the leaves to go off of. So in order to do that, I cut it on the bias. So I cut it on the bias so that we can get the movement. I mean, you could really work hard and get movement if you cut it straight, but it's better to cut on the bias so you can get your curves and everything when you're placing it. So if I was to cut it straight, I would cut at a 1/2 inch, a little more than 1/2 inch, but on that, and I'd go this way. But since I want it on the bias, I want to cut this way. Okay, so I'm going to measure a 1/2 inch. And do I have a 1/2 inch everywhere? Let me see the other side. Okay, we're at a 1/2 inch. So I'm going to just cut it just like that. All right? And then I'm going to take this, and you need to have, this is a bias tape maker. This is a 1/4 inch one. This is a clover one. And this is what I use. And I just stick my pointed end into here as far as I'll go. And then I take my stiletto, or you could take scissors or whatever, to push this out so it pops out. You want it to pop out the end. And of course mine's being, come on. You want it to pop out the end. Whoops, what is going on here? I'm having it pop out in the wrong place. Let's try the other end. Okay, stick it in the hole. Or I'm sticking it in that little slider. You could see that. It's obvious where you put it in. And you want it to come out here. So you push it until it comes out, till you get a piece where it's coming out. See how that popped out? And then you'll lay it down. You'll put your iron, we're going to pretend this is your iron. You'll put that here, and you'll just hold it. Your iron's on there. My finger's the iron. We're going to pretend my finger's the iron. And you'll be pressing it, and you just pull this all the way out. And I do it, instead of having it face this way, which will leave a line on the top, I have it face this way. I learned that from Lori Holt. And you just keep doing this, and you're ironing it, and you'll end up with this. Okay, and then you want, and the inside of your will look like that, so it folds over each other. I hope you can see that. And so that's your limb. Okay? And you just iron a whole bunch of those. Then next, we're going to start cutting out. Remember we traced everything. We put, we got our fabrics, our colors that we wanted for our fabrics. We pressed them on the ugly side. And now we're going to, I cut all these out already, but I'm going to show you what you do. So you just take and you cut out as smooth as you can, right on the line. I'm cutting out right on the line. And you'll do this with every piece that you traced and pressed onto your fabric. I pressed my fusible on for about 2 seconds. All you want to do at this point is to melt the glue. So 5 seconds at the most. And then take it off and let it cool, and then you do your cutting. I'm cutting the wing right now, I think. And just use smooth, as I don't, use smooth cuts. And I know this is, if you have ear buds in, this is like really noisy. I'm so sorry. Okay, and then throw that away. And I am using K Buckley scissors, because these are really good applique scissors, because they have a serrated edge. If I can get you in the camera right. So that grabs the fabric really well and eases your cutting. Eases your neck, your shoulder, everything. All right, so now we have our background fabric on here that you've already cut. The other thing I use is when I'm prepping this out, we're going to lay him out like this, but there's also a pattern here that you can look at where to put stuff. And that's gonna be my basic idea for how I want to put this on the canvas. You can create it any way you'd like. So let's start with the pumpkin. We've cut everything out. Here's my bird. Here's his tail and his wing. Here are all my leaves. I cut them all the same color. Here's my star that's going to go on the pumpkin. Here's my berries that we're going to put around the bird and other places. And then here's my pumpkin. And of course, here's my string. My limbs. We will call them limbs because that's what they are. So you want to kind of center it. You have it all out here. And what all you do is you will peel this off of your fabric. And you just get a hold of it. So one side, hopefully this will show up right. If I could get it off. Come on, let's peel. My goodness. Okay. And then you should be able to just peel it off and you'll see the other side shiny. That's the glue side. Okay, and if it's not shiny, if you have parts that aren't, then you need to put it back under the iron for a couple more seconds, okay? So let's see, how does this go? This goes like this. So you just lay it out how you want it to go, where you want it. Let's move all these so we can peel these. And then you just throw that out. Now I need to put on the other two sides of the pumpkin. See which way it goes. This one, the big one goes here, and the smaller one goes over here. So again, you just peel it off, and you place all this stuff. And I place it just kind of like, I don't glue anything down. You can also pin things down if you have a board where you could do that. I don't iron anything yet. I'm going to kind of hold it down with a little bit of a glue base. I use Aleene's glue. You can use what we call soup glue for appliquing, and you just piece this basically how it shows in your outline. And then they had here's the outline. They have the star here. How do I miss the garbage can when it's sitting right there? I'm trying not to breathe heavy because I hear me breathing when I listen back. Okay. And how did they have this? They had it like that. But you could put it any way you want. And that's how they had you want to lay it out basically how it looks in the picture. And let's see, then we had, where does the bird sit? The bird sits, he sits kind of, he sits like, how does he sit? Right on the edge. His hiney's sitting right on the edge. And he goes out a little, and his tail, his tail goes like that, and he will connect here, but I have him going off of the fabric, so I need to move him over. However I choose him to be so that he will fit. I want to leave about a ½ inch from the edge, at least. So move on over, birdie. Oops, I got you. How are you sitting? Like that. Maybe I should move you up. Or move you down, I mean. To-do. So this is your, basically think of it as your blank canvas, and you are going to lay this out how you want it to look. And then I'll show you what you do. And we want to put him here. His tail's still out there, so I need to move you over more. Well, they have him way down there, but I want to leave about a ½ inch on the bottom, too. I want a ½ inch all the way around. I want it centered. And when I put all this together, I want to okay, there we go. That'll fit. So that fits. He's kind of like right on the edge. All right. And then his wing. So you get the basic idea. You just lay him out. His wing's going to go, how's his wing going to go? Right up here. What else is going on here? Then we'll have, you'll take your, this, and you see it comes up from the middle of the pumpkin. So you'll place this here and kind of follow around how they have it. And then you'll like stick things like, let's see which one. Then you'll take, so J is the one that goes out here. Where's J? I don't know why does that say 4? M, maybe that's H. I, N, K, here's J. It's the thing that I thought looked like a 4. And he's gonna go here, and I'll trim that off. And he's J. He is going to hang off there. You want at least a half an inch on that side over there. And then it's going to go up and around. You want an I over here. That's K. That's L. That's M. This must be I. Here's I. I goes like, you just look at your picture. And he will go here. You look at your picture and replicate it. Then after you get everything on, everything's on. Everything's where you want it. Then you'll take your glue. Let's just do this. Move, Birdie. I'm going to put it on my pumpkin first. So I just open this up and I just do a few daubs. I want to leave some room along the edge in case I have to put a leaf or a, whatever we call these. There. So, and then I want to put it like where I want it to be. This is, and you can still remove it, but I'm not going to iron it yet. I'm going to continue putting my little glue dots. Not a lot, just enough. It's like a base. You just want to put it on there, because afterwards you're going to go to the iron and you're going to, put it everywhere. I mean, iron this down. You're going to hold it down for like 10 seconds in each area to make sure it stays. And then we will applique. And you can either hand applique, you could do a hem stitch, you can do, I do a blanket stitch. I call that the applique stitch. You could do a 1/4 inch around the edge or an 1/8 inch around the edge of this, all straight stitch all the way around. You can do a small zigzag all the way around, and it all looks wonderful. It just all works out wonderful. However you do it. Okay, and I wanted to make sure I had that so I can move that out. Let's put the bird on. Did I take his? No, I haven't taken him off yet. We might as well put him all together. I'll speed this up so you don't have to watch every aspect. I do want to show you the limbs though. And then here's the bird. Let's put the star on. Star's easy. It's all easy. It's just, how you want to place things. And maybe you don't want some things. It's whatever you want on this. Just going to stick that there. Aleene's glue is washable, so you don't have to worry about that. And then my bird. All right, so he goes, what I worry about with my bird is my tail. So my tail, you need to come in a little, and then I could put my tail, I could even do that. So he's a little shorter. Okay. You connect your tail. Well, first you put your thingy off. And then you connect your right here where that thing is. But my tail goes too far off, so I'm going to move my tail up some. Because, I don't know, I think when I starched I used Terreal Magic on my background fabric to make it stiffer when I applique. You do not have to. You do not have to. And it kind of shrunk. Because when you starch things, it will shrink on going one way and not the other. So once, going up and down or sideways, it's going to shrink a little bit. And that little bit seemed to be enough to where I have to reposition things. Everything's fixable. Everything's good. Everything's good. It's all good. Okay, oops. And then you can glue yourself. That's always a helpful thing. Okay. Make sure that covers everything. And then we got our wing. Ba-doop. And then I want to show you how I do the limbs so that you could see that. And then I'll speed it up. And we'll take this to the iron and iron everything down. Press it down so it's nice and stuck on there. And then I'll show you how we'll do one block, or I'll show you how I applique mine. I don't know if we'll do the whole block, but we'll show you how. I'll show you how I do it. Okay? So, okay, now we want to do our petals, or what is this again? I forgot the name of the limbs, the tree branches, or the branches, the limbs. Okay, so I'm going to put it there, and we're going to bring this, hopefully you could see, we're going to bring this to about here, and we're going to trim it, cut it right there. And then we're going to do the same thing with the glue. Well, actually, I want to put it on my little thing. Just a little. I put my glue upside down in a bottle so it's readily available to me. I don't know if you can see it. So I can get to it and not have to wait for it to pump down. So it's kind of in the middle. And I put that under there. And then I'm training him to go. He goes da-dump, da-dump. Make sure he's under there. I don't want him popping up. So everything's still movable right now. Okay. And you're down. And then we want J right here. So here's the J. And you can look at your pieces and see basically how he's supposed to fit on there. So he's supposed to fit kind of like that. So now I don't have any fusible on my limbs, so I just glued them down. But once you press everything down, they'll stay, and then you'll applique them down, and they will go nowhere. Just going to go around the pieces on here. And he goes. This little part goes kind of down like that. So that's like that. And then on the other side, we have an eye that goes over here. So where's I? H&M. And where's I? Oh, these little guys, one will go here. One will go there. One will go here. And the other three will go over by the bird's beak. So I want I. Here's I. I is going to go like so. So I need to peel off the paper. So I have that shiny side. Maybe I can peel this. There's enough pointy parts. I should be able to grab a hold of something. It's really not this hard. I just like to make it like it is. So you think that this is a really difficult one. It isn't at all. No, I don't want you to think it's very difficult. I remember when Cheryl and I first wanted to quilt, we wanted to do these guitar appliques for our sons. We went to Pacific Fabrics. I think I told this story. And they said, oh, no, you don't want to start with applique. That's hard. We were bound and determined. Do you know we still haven't made those? We still haven't made those. We went to our friend Patty's house and she taught us all kinds of things. So that was a good thing. Now I'm going to take the berry. And the other thing is, don't worry if your shapes, like your circles, aren't perfect. This is supposed to be primitive, a primitive raven quilt, the raven. And if it's supposed to be perfect, I don't know. I call it primitive, so it doesn't have to be. So I'm safe saying it's primitive. My circles aren't perfect. I don't know too many berries that are perfect. But maybe they are. One there and one here. That was a big blob of glue. But it dries clear and it is washable. Not that I'm going to wash this anytime soon. That's the other thing, is I don't prep my fabric. Well, I did with the background. I starched it. Arterial Magic did. But generally, I do not do anything but press it. Press the lines or whatever's out, the wrinkles out, and use it. And then when I wash, I do that in cold water. So there you go. You don't have to worry about. Okay, now we want to bring my where did I put my limbs? Oh, here's one. Here's some. This will work. So we want to bring this up. So I'm going to connect that there. I'm going to bring this up over to here. So this one's going to go all the way from here. I'm going to stick them in there. Okay, so this time I'm going to do this one. This is going to, I'm going to go boom, 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 boop, 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 boop. We go boop. And then we go as far as we can get with this one. And he's going to be leaning towards the right. He's going to curve. That's why we did this on the bias. And we're just going to glue him down to the best of our ability. If we have to add more glue, we will. Okay. And we're going to follow it. So the smooth side's up. And come over here. There we go. Now I got to add some more glue. So he will mind. don't worry, it's not going to do anything to your fabric. It's not going to hurt it. Generally, you just use a little bit. I can't see, so I'm probably using way more than I need to, but it's not going to hurt anything, so we're good. It's not going to hurt a thing. Oops. Okay, so we have J, I, our little thingy there, and we want K right here, right here. So I'm going to take, I have them labeled with their numbers, or letters. However you do it, I just use the numbers that are on the pattern. Okay, come on. Joop. Peel off. Then we have L and M. At least there's only 6 leaves on this one, and this one is going to go like that. So we're going to do our little pop glue. Little dots of glue, just enough to hold them down. Then we're going to take our leaf, go to where we want it to be, and smush them down. Okay? And then what we're going to do is applique over all these pieces that you see flopping around. Then over here, right here, we want to put this one. So this is going to go, it's going to hang off here and go there. And then we have M and N. M is a biggie. He's going to go there. And N is going to go up this way. And M is going to go that way. And we have some mouths we have to feed. One goes right in his mouth. Okay, don't breathe, Colleen. Don't breathe loudly. Don't breathe heavily. Remember, one lung. Treat it properly. One's going to go right in his mouth, right in his little beaky. You see that? And then the other two, we're going to move these over some. The other two, when I find my other two little ones, they're going to go beep, beep. Okay. All right, so that will be how our layout is. And now I will finish gluing that all down. Then you will take it to your iron and you will press everything, all of your pieces down for about 5 to 10 seconds each place, you'll see. And then turn it over and press the other side. And then we can go to the iron. And I also need to trim another piece and put it here. Or else it will look silly. So this needs to go. And put this here. And this will go. I tuck it under the little thing, and then there we go. All right, so I tuck it under, glue it down, add my next, stick in there, add my next leaf, which is L. Put it, do I want it there? I'm going to put it there. Place them however you want. You can use the exact pattern, or you can put them wherever you think it looks good. And then I think it's kind of cute there. And then the last two are up here. And then I have to find my other berries, or not. You don't have to give him berries. You could just, that one needs it to be in his mouth. That's a good place for it to be. The other ones that are just hanging there don't necessarily have to be there. Oh, I want end first. What am I doing? So we will be, well, no, let me get this done. We have 2 more leaves. I could do it, right? You could tolerate me. I'm going to fast forward this anyway. Or you'll be, I guess I don't have to make a lot of noise when I'm bouncing around here either. And the end goes like this. And the M. Probably, my other berries are probably under. I just have 2 more. I don't know what I did. And I made my berries, here's an example. This one, unless I can get it the other side, I didn't iron it long enough or press it long enough. So I will take this back to the iron to melt that glue, and then it'll be fine. Then I could peel. But I could probably peel somewhere else and be fine too. Maybe. Yep. So that still worked. And you go just like this. Right there. Boop, 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 boop. Boop, boop, boop. And you hang here. Now, there we go. Get rid of these. We've got to take out the garbage tonight. I need to find the top to my stiletto to put that away. All right, so here is our birdie. See our block? Can you see our block? And I'll hold him up some. And we're now going to press him with the iron, take him to the sewing machine, and show you how we sew a block together. First, I'm going to close up my glue and put everything away that's a big mess on my table. And I will be back. Okay, so now we have our block all done, and now we're ready to applique. I machine applique my raw edges. And what we're going to do is, I have brown thread in there, so I think I'll do the pumpkin and the leaves, but I think I'll do the pumpkin first and show you how I do this. I have a Bernina, and I am using stitch number 1329, which is in the quilting stitching of the Bernina. I have my stitch length and width set at 3.5, and now we're just going to go to town. I hope I have, yep, I think so. So what I do is I want to get right on the edge of this. And then I just go right on the edge, and I don't think you're going to be able to see the thread, but I use coordinating thread with whatever I'm appliquing. And these are big pieces, so they're not going to be hard. And as you see, you want to just keep it right. You want your needle to come right on, ouch, sorry, right on the edge of that pumpkin. You don't want it too far in, and you don't want it too far out. You want it right on the edge. And you just go along the whole thing, and I'm kind of getting outside the edge, so you'll see what happens when you do. And I'll have to go back and fix that, because that won't stand for for me. I have a camera in my, always using that excuse that I have a camera right in my, whoops, I'm coming out of there again. Camera right in my view. And maybe if I slowed down a little, I wouldn't have such a problem. Now these are wider ones, so you don't necessarily have to stop and lift your foot off. You could just kind of roll yourself around. Oh, that doesn't look too bad at all. A little bit up there, I'm a little off. I'll slow down some. I'm just going around all the edges. Then I'll show you the limb, how I do the limb also. And I just go to the end. And stop. And I'm going to go down the limb side now. So, again, right on the edge of the limb. So it's just taking a bite. You could also hand stitch these down. You could also use a straight stitch, or you can use a zigzag stitch. And I'm going to turn this around because I want to go down the other side of my leaf. I mean my limb, which I keep forgetting to say. I keep forgetting what that string is. It's a limb. And then when you do the bird, you'll switch your top thread to black. And we're going to go ahead and turn again and finish this part of the. You could kind of map it out how you want to go. Maybe I will do my star in this color of thread so you could see. So you could see it better. But you want your stitches to be as close to the edge as possible so that they're not going like, oh, I have a place here where they're kind of going outside. I thought I did. I'm sure I do somewhere. We'll find it. But let's do the star. And I'll show you how you do the, you go a little slower when you get to the, whoops, what happened here? Did my thread come loose? Okay, let's try that again. Okay. Just going right on the edge of the star, the outside of the needle's just going right on the edge of the star. Then I'm going to turn it. Keep it turned. I'm going to go a little slower when I get to the 1, 2, and then I'm going to turn it to have my star go the other way, or my leg go the other way. Hope you could see this. I don't know how to turn the light on my sewing machine off without turning the whole thing off. I want one to end on the outside, and the second one will be on the outside as well. And then turn so that that needle hits the edge. 1, 2, 1, and then turn it again. again. Whoops. Pulled my fabric there. But you can also, instead of using, instead of using black on the star, you can use brown, you can use orange, you could use whatever you want. I don't remember where I ended. I guess I could have looked. I ended right. Usually I go 1, 2, 3. Usually I count as I'm doing it so I don't fall asleep. Okay. So now I have to finish all the rest of the applique, and I think I will finish the pumpkin while I have you here. I'll just finish this pumpkin up. I'm going around all the edges. And cut off all the little extra pieces. And hopefully you can see that, those stitches. Boop. Now, where was I going? The rest of the pumpkin. This, on the inside ones, I'm not worrying so much. I'm just making sure that all the edges are blanket stitched too. Keep everything together. Maybe I can. Oh, somebody's calling us. Maybe I can make it a little closer or further. And then I can hold it up closer. Okay. Let's get her done. You'll go really slow around your little circles. Which we aren't doing, but I mean I will be doing, but I'm not gonna sit here and do it. Let's go down here. And we're gonna have to stop when we get to keep your fabric free. And we got all that. Let's see, we did that one. Let's do the big long one. Let's do the long one while we're at it. The long stem. Stem. What did I call it? Did I call it stem? Or now I don't remember. It's a big stem. That's coming off of an invisible tree we don't see. Just follow it along. Do both sides of your stems, or limbs. That was the other word we used. Don't worry if it's not perfect. There's a lot of applique. There's a lot of pieces. And after you put all your blocks together, which will be a different tutorial, different video, then you can get it long-armed and you're not going to see any of these alleged imperfections. Okay, lift that up. Let's go around the other side. Go down the other side of the limb or stem, whatever we're calling this. And then I'll have to go back and go through and do all the leaves as well. And if it's not perfect, not a worry. You can shorten or lengthen your width and stitch and length to whatever you want. I just prefer the 3.5. It helps avoid any buckling. See, I don't have any buckling on the parts that I've sewn or appliqued, which you'll sometimes get. So it's all nice and smooth. And then you just keep going. I would now I'd start doing the leaf. And just follow it along. Slow down if you move too fast. I'm gonna break out in song. I'm not. And I thought I would like speed up this video, and I thought, well, you know what? There's an option for you to speed up things on YouTube. So when you get to parts that are boring or like you don't care about, then just speed through to where you get to where you want to watch or learn something. This isn't, there's all different ways to do applique. This is just raw edge using lightweight, fusible heat and bond. And you can do needle turn. I'm going to be doing the First Lady's quilt, which is some of the president's wives have done blocks, you know, the older ones like in the 30s and 40s, 50s. And they use this kind of applique, and they also use what I call Lori Holt style, which is with interfacing. So again, there's no literal needle turning, but I'll link below some people that do have a tutorial. I think Olivia has a tutorial on needle turn applique, and she actually shows you how she's doing it, and it's really cool too. I'm not patient. And so it takes a whole lot more patience. So you just keep going until you get all your pieces done. When I get to the black, I'll change my threads to black to do the bird. But otherwise, that's how you applique with the machine. And I use the button, I guess it's called the buttonhole stitch. I call it the applique stitch. So thank you for tuning in, and I will chat with you all next time. Bye.